Hello everyone, Craig Ripley here. Welcome to another edition of Living Off the Slab. So today what I want to do is continue our discussion that we started on the last video about tools, specifically the tools I'm planning on carrying with me on our trip up to Alaska. So as I mentioned in that last video, I've been having a little bit of a struggle trying to figure out how much to bring on this trip, how many tools to bring, so that we're prepared for things that might happen, but not bring so much that it weights us down. So when I showed you that toolkit in that last video, I knew that I had some duplicate things in there, and I even mentioned them to you while I did the video. I also knew that I was probably going to have some things that I just won't use on the bike, like some socket sizes, for example. So I also knew that you guys, being smart and very experienced riders out there, would point those things out to me, and I'm really glad that you did. The reason that I'm glad that you pointed these things out to me is, well, one, because I learn from all of these comments and things that everybody gives to me, but also I think that it illustrates that this is a process, right? Learning to pack for a motorcycle trip is a process. And while there is no one way to do this, there's no one perfect toolkit, right? Or there's no one perfect set of camping gear or cooking gear or what have you. All of those things are individual, right? It is a process that we go through. And oftentimes we go out and we do a trip, we find that we don't use things, so we eliminate them on the next trip. So I think that what I want to go through here is the process of eliminating some of that extra stuff, some of that fat that I had in that tool roll that I showed you last time. All right, so if we come in here and we take a look at these individually, you'll see that I've got some socket sizes here that just don't fit on my bike. I've got some Allen keys here, again, that don't fit on my bike. I've got a duplicate of a 27 millimeter wrench here, again, that I don't need because I have a socket that'll work. And then I've got a couple of screwdrivers here, again, that I can do away with because I have that combination screwdriver that I've included in my kit. So looking at all this stuff here, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? But when I put this stuff on the scale, all of this together weighs about 1.5 pounds. So again, that doesn't sound like a whole lot in the scheme of things, but since every ounce counts, cutting 1.5 pounds out of my toolkit, well, I think that's worth doing. So another thing that I knew I could do to reduce a little bit of weight is to replace this camp axe. Right, and it's not too bad. It weighs about 2 pounds, and it's about 14 inches long, and I was able to easily fit it into my panniers, but it is a little bit heavy, and given that I lost the sheath on it anyway, I was going to have to go out and try to find a replacement for that. I decided, well, why not look and see if you can find an axe that's a little bit lighter. Now, of course, if you're looking for a new axe, just like if you're looking to learn how to pack for a motorcycle trip, there are all kinds of guys out there doing videos on axes and other outdoor type equipment. So I went to YouTube and I looked up all kinds of reviews, both there and both online, and I found out that basically it sounded like it came down to 2 hatchets that I was really interested in, and that's one, there's an axe from Gerber, a small hatchet from Gerber that they make that's pretty nice. It was suggested by one of my viewers as well, so I was looking at that one. And then also this axe that I ended up with from Scharade. Now this is the Scharade Axe 2. It's a little survival axe or survival hatchet. And I ended up getting this one because primarily it has a little bit longer handle in it. This does cut a couple inches off of the length from that other axe. This is about 1 foot long, and it's about 0.5 pound lighter. So between the tools that I took out and the weight that I'm saving on this axe, I'm cutting out a full 2 pounds of weight. So the last topic I want to cover is distributing this weight out between everybody in your group, or at least a few members of your group. And this topic has been brought up several times during the course of conversation of my last video on tools. And everybody who's mentioned that is absolutely correct, right? We don't need 3 sets of tools. We really only need 1 set of tools. And we also don't need 3 sets of cookware. We only need 1 set, right? We only need 1 axe. We don't need 3 axes. We only need 1 first aid kit, not 3 first aid kits. Completely get that. I guess my problem is going to be that I'm going to be a week on my own, riding from Boston out to Boise, where I'm going to pick up the other two guys, and then I'm going to be the last week on my own coming back as well. So I'll need to pack all of this stuff on my own and to carry it at least for a couple of weeks during this trip. Doesn't mean I can't distribute the load once I get to Boise and we're heading up through Alaska, which we'll probably do that, but I have to be prepared to carry all of this stuff. Also, when you're distributing this stuff between everybody in your group, you need to spend a little bit of time and think a little bit about it, right? I think anyway that it's a mistake if you take your toolkit and say, okay, here you have the wrenches, you have the sockets, you have the Allen keys over here, and then you stop on the side of the road because you have to do a repair, and you've got three guys who have to open their bikes up and dig stuff out so that you can make one repair. Right, then you've got the same three guys that got to put everything back in again. So it's just kind of wasting time, and it's not very efficient. So I just think you need to think about this a little bit. Right, one guy can carry the tools, another guy can carry the cookware, another guy can carry maybe the axe and the first aid kit. Right, distribute it up that way so that if there's an emergency, then you only got to get into one bike, to get the tools necessary to fix that problem. I guess you could break it up into like tire tools, for example, the pump and the tire tools. Those could go in one guy's bike, and then all of the other kind of tools could go in another bike. That wouldn't be too bad because you're not likely to need both at the same time. So I'd like to hear from you guys on that topic. Those of you who have done these rides in groups before and you've split your gear up, how did you go about doing it? Did you split up the tools or just have one guy carry the tools? Did you split up all of the cooking equipment or just give it to one person? So again, let me know how you did that. I'd be very interested to find out. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Short and sweet. Just wanted to get caught up on all of the tool discussion. And also remember, if you're going to buy from Twisted Throttle, please do so by linking to my website. Help us keep these videos coming. Appreciate everybody who's been doing that, and also I really appreciate everybody who's been donating to Homes for Our Troops. Remember, we're trying to raise a little bit of money for a great cause through this Alaska trip. So you can head out to my website at www.livingofftheslab.com, and there's a link right there on the home page to donate to Homes for Our Troops, which is an organization that builds custom homes for injured vets from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Again, great cause. Help us out. Just $5 or $10 is all we need. All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.